Hey, David Stark here with Resilient Living, and today we're going to talk a bit more about the 10 different aspects and uses of the Nano Silver solution, and really talk about the testimonials, how to use it, where to use it, how much to get. And so stick with us, and so you really get the in-depth on this life-saving technology. So the first and most common way to use the Nano Silver solution is just to take a swig a day. Now, after you brush your teeth in the morning, or whenever you find a time that you remember to do it, you just take a little bit in your mouth and swish it. I'm not going to do it for a minute, but at least a minute, up to 3 minutes if you can. It gets any bacteria in your mouth. Then you swallow it, and then you just have something that you're fighting viruses and bacteria that are already in you, and will help fight for you all day long. If you go out into public, maybe you have one in your car, and just take a little swig before or after you go out there or at your work. And if you do end up getting sick, you just double your dose, maybe 2-4 times a day, and just swish it as long as you can, gargle it, and then swallow it down. So it's going to be fighting and increasing that sickness time. There's been a lot of times in my family where I'm the only one who takes it every day, or remembers to take it every day, and they all get sick and I don't, because I'm already fighting the stuff that's attacking me. And when they do get sick, they do, you inhale it into your lungs, so if it's a lung issue, or you ingest it and just help getting that into your bloodstream, and so it's fighting those pathogens and can greatly recover healing time. So how we first discovered the power of Nano Silver solution and how to utilize its healing benefits was with my disabled mother. She actually didn't have the ability to cough, and so the doctors didn't have a very good prognosis when she got double pneumonia, so pneumonia in both lungs. And so we found the Nano Silver solution and actually put it directly into her breathing tube, and it saved her life. And that's really why I've been just really trying to get my friends and family and anyone who will listen to try this stuff, because it saved her life and I want to share it with the world. So basically you just take the pure form and put a little bit into the cap there, and then screw it in, turn on the machine. Breathe the pure form and exhale, and do that as many times as you can for whether it be bronchitis or maybe any kind of pandemic that's going around the world that is attacking people's lungs directly. This will go right to the source and attack any viruses or bacteria that are in there. So, bronchitis, pneumonia, you name it. If it's a lung issue, this is something that can absolutely help with you. Even give it to kids. We had a kid with croup, and he was a 1-year-old. We let him breathe it. We let him drink it. He cured it within a few days, as opposed to a few weeks or months that some kids are being coughing with that kind of stuff. So another really powerful thing after ingesting is breathing it in, whether you use a compressor, a nebulizer, or a diffuser. There's a lot of ways to get it in. It's a way that you can breathe it, but it's a very powerful thing and a very safe thing that you can absolutely take into your lungs. So another good way to use Nano Silver is to put it into a diffuser, and when you put about a cap full into the diffuser with some filtered water, and if an essential oil drop or two of something you like, anything that this vapor lands on, it's disinfecting it. And also as you're breathing it, it's just getting into your lungs and keeping your family healthy and safe. So another use for the Nano Silver is for anything involving your eyes, whether it be a pink eye or some kind of infection or whatever is whatever it is in your eye that's giving you trouble, is putting it directly in your eye. So my wife had pink eye about a year ago, and everything we read online said, oh, that's a viral thing, it's going to take several weeks, there's nothing you can do about it. And so we dropped this on her eyes for a couple times for a couple days, cleared it up in 2 or 3 days, and it was a remarkable thing. And so just another tip on how to use it with an eyedropper. Don't just try to keep your eye open and try to get it in there, because you're just going to dump half the bottle on your face. So one good trick is to lean up, keep your eye closed, put a drop next to your eye, and then open your eye. And so you just do that, open it up, blink it in, and now you have something that is on your eyeball, that is safe, that is fighting any viruses, bacteria, and will greatly reduce any time you have pink eye or any other kind of eye problem. So another thing you can use it for is burns, and fortunately I don't have any burns to show you, but mixing it up into a bottle like this or doing it in its pure form and then just spraying it on first, second, third degree burns is another great thing to just help with healing process. And we've had a lot of examples where people have had burns and they've used the nano silver on one side and not the other, and the nano silver has actually created an environment where your skin and the cells can reproduce a lot faster, fighting off any infections and bacteria. So another really powerful thing is to use nano silver solution on any kind of burns. So water purification is another really important thing that nano silver can be used for. A lot of people use chlorine, but chlorine is a poisonous gas, and oftentimes when you put them in some of these bigger containers, the chlorine will actually fill up and there will be a toxic fume coming around in the top. So if you are going to use the nano silver solution for water purification, we recommend that if your water is chlorinated, to let it vent, so keep it open a little bit so that the gases can come out, because the silver is actually pushing out the gases even more because it's fighting against the chlorine. And so we actually just recommend using one of these. And so if you really want to be safe, you could fill a 50-gallon drum with a whole bottle, and actually for these two that I filled up, I just used one bottle for each, so 4 ounces in each, and that's enough. Just if there's any bacteria, viruses, or stuff that gets in there, it'll take care of it. We also recommend using some of these water bricks. These are only 3.5 gallons, and they stack really nicely. They kind of have these things in the ridges, and I put the date on there and how much silver, and you only need about 1 ounce in those, and so you can use a bottle to fill 8 of those. And so water purification and long-term storage is really helpful to have something in it, so when you actually get to that water when you need it, it doesn't have some toxic poison like chlorine in it. It actually has something that's going to boost your immune system and keep your family safe and your water pure for a long time. Another thing to consider using your nano silver solution for is for livestock, whether it be horses or chickens, just putting a little bit in their water. So if there's anything, if there is a survival situation and these birds are keeping you alive, then you need to do something to make sure that they stay alive, that there's no bacteria growing in their water. So just putting maybe a capful in their water every time, help clean out their system, keep them safe, keep them alive, which is ultimately going to keep you alive. So another thing to use it for is when you're taking a bath or your kids are taking a bath, just putting some in the tub and letting that just be all over your body, just killing any bacteria and stuff that's on your skin, and you just really let it soak in. And I don't have a hot tub yet, unfortunately, but I really would like to test it to see if it could be a good alternative for a hot tub, because imagine getting into a hot tub and not having to wash the chlorine or whatever that stuff is that you use off your body afterwards and stink. You actually get into a hot tub and you come out revitalized and healthier. And that's just something that nano silver does. And every time my son gets into the bathtub, I put a little drop with him, because he's a dirty kid and he drinks their own water and it's really gross. But there's also something in there fighting all the stuff that's coming off of him. And so that's another thing that the nano silver solution can be used for. You can also put it into devices that filter water through, like Keurigs and water filters, and any kind of medical devices like the CPAP machine, so it can be cleaning out pipes, cleaning out filters, going through, making sure that the insides of all these machines are also clean. So how many bottles should you get and where should you put them? Well, it's always highly recommended that you have a case with your survival supplies, because you don't know when you'll need it and you don't know if you'll be able to get more. And even though we do have to put expiration dates on the bottles just because of manufacturing regulations, it's a permanently bonded Ag404 molecule and it won't become something else. So this will be good for forever. And we've tested up to 10 years and it still does the same bacteria virus fighting that it always has done. So keep a stockpile with you. And another place to keep it is in your car, in your wife's purse, or in your water bottle for daily drinking. Also, you could put some into your wife's water bottle. Often my wife, the only way she gets any is if I put some in when I refill her water. In your bug out bag, with your medical kit, with your camping gear. You could even spray it into your shoes to fight athlete's foot. So as you can see, nano silver is a pretty versatile thing, and I only showed you a few of the things that we've discovered, because as we're using it and trying it, it keeps doing more and more things that we didn't expect it to do. Like someone we gave it to who had really bad acid reflux, took it, acid reflux went away. Like, okay, well, there's another thing. And so really we want to know what it does and how it can be used, but you also want to know how much you should get and how much you should use it. And really the 1 8-ounce bottle is about a month's worth. If you're just going to take a sip every day, it'll do good. But if you're going to use it in a diffuser, if you're going to use it for water purification, that's a bottle or two a month. And if your whole family's going to use it, you need at least a case, per person for a year, because a case, it comes in 12, and that is really what you need. And if you're going to store it for long term for survival purposes, as you can see, it adds up. But really, we're trying to keep the price as low as we can. And we didn't want to go through all the FDA red tape and try to get into hospitals, because once you start doing that, now it's becoming $80-$90 a bottle, and you have to go through certain channels to get it. But we didn't really want it to do that. We wanted regular everyday people to get it and to save lives, and to save my mom's life. It's greatly improved the quality of life for my family and a lot of my friends and clients, and it's just an amazing thing. And so we recommend getting a case and starting from there. And as you're understanding and learning more about it, then you will be a lifetime customer. And obviously we want that, but we also just want our customers to be healthy and happy, because that is really the heart of resilient living. So as you can see, Nano Silver Solution is an amazing product with a lot of uses and a very versatile thing that you really can't live without, whether it be sick kids or water purification or fighting off a pandemic or whatever it is. This is something that you really need to consider getting a hold of and keeping on hand no matter what, whether it be something that's just happening right now today, or something that could come in the future. But get yours now, because we don't know when supplies can last, or when society is going to shut down, or you can't get to hospitals, or whatever it is. You need to have some of this just so that you can keep your family safe. And that's what resilient living is all about, to keep your heart beating and family eating for as long as possible, no matter the circumstances.